Good morning, guys. I am J0k, and today I'm going to talk a little bit more about Faeria. We just had a really exciting tournament, and Inari was the winner, and I have him with me here on the stream.
Hello, everybody.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about the deck you chose to play with. Why you chose it, and like how do you feel about the deck?
Um, how do I feel about my hand deck? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the full yellow one I shared already on French community on Gamers Origin. It it is the deck I used on the ladder. Maybe I met some of you with it. It never proved that efficient compared to tonight, actually, because I only came up to number 23 on the ladder and never above. The other one with red cards is a much different deck to play actually, because it doesn't have the same moves as the same solutions to move my own creatures or opponent's one, because no twisters and no windborne champion. It's really different to play, but it has other solutions like Scourge Flame Spectre, which is really great in a flying lists. So both the decks are really great, but well, the full yellow one is my baby. It's really my favorite deck.
Yeah. So for this tournament, you were supposed to submit a deck of 30 cards, and you had how many cards was in sideboard? Seven.
Seven.
So the main deck you had was this yellow one, and basically the red version is just your sideboard, correct?
Yeah. Actually, that was the red cards was my sideboard. Soul Pact, the Fieries, the Flame Burst, the Scourge Flame Spectres, Garudan, and Choking Sand just in case, and Cypher's Wrath were my sideboard.
Right. Did you end up playing the yellow-red deck at all, or did you only play the normal
Yeah,
yellow?
I played it against Joyful Rogue on my very first confrontation, and I terribly lost against him.
He's a
But
very good player. Like,
yeah, I started the tournament really bad, and that was funny because everybody was telling me, "I never thought you would make make it this far," because I was really bad at first. So anyway, I don't think I would have beaten Joyful Rogue even with the yellow one, because his deck was really a counter to flying one. He had many creatures with low cost, and any removal on his creature was a loss of Faeria. But, well, I don't think I would have won anyway.
what colors did he play? What type of cards?
I I didn't play actually any side cards apart from playing the red yellow list.
Hmm.
I didn't play the other side cards, and I played the red versions only against Joyful Rogue, and then I swapped to the yellow one, and from there I won all my games,
Every game.
every
Wow,
game.
that's
Uh,
impressive.
no, I think I've done one loss against Mudmik in half finals.
Right. So, is this your first Faeria tournament?
Yeah, I started the game like 1 month ago. Uh,
And already crushing everyone.
yeah, that's incredible. Uh, Before that, I used to play Hearthstone, but I was never that good on Hearthstone. Or I mean, I was rank 3 on Hearthstone, but never Legend. And here I feel really better, just because it's not about luck and more about skill and strategy. I really prefer Fire
Yeah, I
to
love
Hearthstone.
Faeria. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
So, what what kind of decks do you like to play if you don't play this yellow or yellow red? Do
Yeah,
you have
I
any
never
favorites?
Never rush decks. That's my first first thing. I don't play any rush decks. I like taking my time, collecting Faeria, going to control the board. I love playing. I have another deck in the works. It's more like a ramp deck, like Druid in Hearthstone, with many green card, Feed the Forest, and blue Storm Spawn, and it fits really well together to play Aurora's Dream and have a really big place for Zero Fire. It's fun, but it's not as good as that list. Uh, my yellow flying deck is really something I enjoy and I think is really efficient.
Yeah. So do you know what was the price that you got for getting first place?
Um, if I remember, it's like 500 gold and 5 Pandora tickets.
Hmm. And I already asked you this, but you don't have the full collection, correct?
No, I don't have the full collection. Um, my strategy was more I will make myself some deck I would like to play. I came up with yellow. Of course, I know it's quite popular. It's not really original. Yellow is really favored, I think, actually. But I was thinking I want to play yellow, and at first I disenchanted almost everything which wasn't yellow. And then I crafted a lot of yellow cards. I played this, and I considered it was a good idea because I had such a good win rate that I could buy packs and packs and packs. And now I have a lot of cards. Compared to Hearthstone, when you can't gain more than 100 gold per day, here you can get as much as you want
Yeah.
as long as you farm. And so I farmed a lot with good win rates, and I could easily buy 3, 4, 5 packs a day
Yeah.
when I'm not working, because working days I can buy 1 or 2 packs, but that's still cool.
Yeah. So guys, everyone who's watching, I think we have like 20 people watching right now. If there's anyone willing to donate money to the stream, I'll give everything to Inari. You can buy some more packs. And on top of that, if you guys give him 10 euros, $10, whatever, I'm also gonna give him that. So it's like we double it. I'll put a
Yeah.
limit on 10 euro. I can't give him more than that. Not today.
Thanks a lot.
So come on, guys, show him some love. He needs some packs so we can bring an even better deck to the next tournament.
Yeah, I will do my best. I was just wondering, maybe it's just I don't know, but if there are Pandora tickets in the for the first, the second, and the third in the tournament, it's probably because Pandora is coming out really close.
It's
Or
definitely the highest priority of the
yeah, I think so.
for the developers right now.
Because no, I won. I use my tickets.
Yeah,
Really, really, really hyped for this.
it's gonna be really fun. I'm really excited about Pandora.
Yeah, I think so.
So I,
I'm so happy to be here talking with you. I still cannot realize I've been first. I wasn't that popular, and I think many people have been surprised that I won the tournament, because I never came up above number 23 on ladder, and so I don't think people were thinking about me as a winner.
well, I was actually rooting for uh, Koludum. I don't know how to pronounce his name really. I like him, and then
Yep.
he fell out, unfortunately. But you won instead. That's awesome, and I'm very happy for you. But I know it's been a very long day for you, that you're a bit tired. So
Yeah,
if you,
completely tired,
if
honestly.
you, we can end this here if you want. And thank you very much for taking the time. I'm gonna put this on YouTube if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh, yeah,
send you the
perfect.
link so you can see it as well. Alright,
Yeah,
some people
yeah,
in the chat are
and
talking.
especially the games against Mudnik and Nightingale, because you stream this one, and so I would love to see them with your comments on my plays. That's really interesting to me. So if you have a replay to the last games,
Yes, I
I
will.
love it.
I'll send
And
it to you. I'll do it.
also, I would only want to let people know that I'm always on Fire Discord, and so you can tag me if you have any question, anything you want to tell me, and I will quickly come to answer your question or help you. Well, have a chat with you anyway. So feel free to get in touch with me on Discord.
I'll also post your Twitch channel in the
Yeah,
chat
my
so that
Twitch
people
channel.
can come to it.
I'm streaming in French because I don't have that many viewers at the moment. I wasn't that popular before tonight, maybe at least.
What does that mean?
Uh,
Not too many viewers.
like 30 at best,
30.
you know.
I'm happy when I have more than 20.
Yeah, I can get your point. I was really happy also. But anyway, I'm streaming mostly in French, but maybe that will change in the future. I don't know. I never know.
All right. So,
Mm.
guys, go follow Inari. He's an awesome Faeria player and he's going to teach you how to play yellow flying deck. And I don't know if you've seen my videos, but I like to play with people who have like successful decks and that they tell me how it works, kind of, and you kind of teach me how to play your style. So, if you have time for that someday, I would very much enjoy that.
Anyway, thanks for this interview. I feel really honored about
Oh,
this.
thank you for taking the time. I know you're really tired. All right.
Yeah, completely. I will
Now,
be off now.
now go and celebrate and good night.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right. So that's not it for today. I have Nightingale coming as well. I'm gonna ask him if he's ready. All right, Nightingale is ready. So I'm gonna call him Skype.
Hello,
Hello.
hello, hello.
First question. By the way, we are live, so you know.
Yeah, I saw stream with Inari.
Okay. Do you maybe have a webcam?
I have only camera on my laptop.
All right. Let's see if it works. All right, I can see you perfectly. Let's see if I can get it up on the stream. Yep, should be working. Just give me 1 second to load up your deck. In the meantime, congratulations for second place.
Yep, thank you very much. It was kind of surprising to me as well.
I was at work all day. I just got home right in time for the finals, really. So I don't really know much about the games and the like the previous matches. Can you tell me who you played against, how it went?
So my games were first game. Ah, I kind of hard to remember what was the first game. I think the one I lost one of the Swiss round. I think it was Modolock with Nick he's Colodom on the Twitch chat right now. I think so because he had to drop. I actually got as an eighth place into the top eight, which was a pleasant surprise. Basically, the deck I lost to was the red blue control, and the decks I won against in the first two were I think it was one of them was mono green. This deck actually, despite not having answered to the runing, it can rush opponent, and it's usually has pretty good matchup against it. Funny thing about the deck is that I actually saw a list of Cubase. I think it was yesterday that he posted his rainbow deck, which used blue for Tyrannax, Aurora and the Herald. Otherwise, it was a similar deck list. I just removed blue and added some other cards. Like basically, this is the same deck that I was playing a few weeks ago. I think I shared it, so a lot of people played the similar lists. But I haven't realized how OP Kalim's follower is. I mean, one game I was practically losing. It I think it was even quarter like finals, and not well. I mean 1/8 of the finals, and there I had Kalim's follower. Like he had 20 health. I had desert near his god orb, and I just had like two Oaklings die into one Kalim's follower. So I just killed him in one turn
That's so beautiful.
from my hand. I was like losing and won the game from there. It was really weird. So the main synergy that got me to the finals is that Oakling Kalim's follower, and it's actually really good harvester. I haven't realized before yesterday how good harvester Kalim's follower really is.
Yeah, Kalim's follower is probably the best gatherer, right? Because it can take one or even two Faeria at the same turn you play it, and it only costs one.
Yeah, it's like I haven't really realized that before yesterday. So after that, I made this deck, and I actually like I was experimenting before it, but like the only losses, real losses, this deck has difficult matchup against mono blue. Like anything that's blue is slightly difficult but winnable, and that those yellow flyers, it's actually a bad matchup. I haven't realized how popular the deck was. Like you see from my sideboard, Breath of Life and Falcon Dive. I was expecting Yellow Rush punishment and Breath of Life against Yellow Rush, and the Falcon Dive against Fairies, because I saw quite a bit of people talking about Fairies yesterday, and the deck is decent, really good. I think at least decent, but I think it's good because King Daz actually got to rank 1 in God rank using that some kind of Fairies build as well. That's why I was using Falcon Dive. And Shaitan Vampire was meant to shore up my blue matchup against Toads. But in the end, I saw zero yellow rushes, zero. The only matchup I had against blue Shaitan Vampire was bad, and actually the only card I really sided was Punishment, which helped me slightly against my semi-final opponent, who was playing similar yellow Flyers deck. He was actually sniping me, and I managed to, like in the third game, I managed to get again. I was losing it really much, but I somehow managed to get Big Kalim's follower and just kill him. I think it was one or two turns again. It happened like multiple times that Kalim's follower just got big. I got lands close to his orb, and just from hand, like a gigantic follower to your doom.
That
It
is so
was really
cool.
fun to play.
I really want to take a look at that broadcast. Do you have them saved on Twitch so that you can?
I actually recorded them, but they do take. I need to check how big. They're kind of big since I haven't actually edited them. It's my friend who's doing editing, so I can. Let's see. Uh, I how big is it? It's 4 GB. Ouch! Should have stopped it at some point. So I think at those moments, I have quite a few moments recorded. So I think I will ask my friend to compile them in one collection. But if Twitch say I had my games streaming, so if Twitch saves them, so showing previous broadcast, then I think people can see that it from there.
I want to check it out. It sounds really fun. I want to
Yeah,
talk to you a little bit about your deck. I'm seeing you're playing Imperial Judge.
yeah.
That's not a card you see very often, I feel. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the thoughts
I
behind that?
think it's a mistake that you don't see it very often because usually rush decks play those quite a few neutral cards. Like second turn Steam Fortune Enforcer is really hard to deal with.
I agree.
So Imperial Judge just kills it and leaves you with 1/1 body. Then a lot of neutral decks. Plus, basically, it's 5 mana 1/1 that deals 2 damage at its worst. But usually, with all the buffs, the safeguard become from Imperial Judge becomes quite important because when you're playing against green, you just get safeguard and suddenly uh, they can, well, you can just wipe their board and have big creatures. While
Yeah.
normally you would like trade with them or your creatures will get smaller, but with safeguard is really important option against anything that's not playing usually, well, that's not playing Last Nightmare. So green or green red or red decks, safeguard is really important. Otherwise, it's punishment. So versatility. That's why I'm playing it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Imperial Judge. I've been running it in a few decks because I mean every time you want to have a punishment, I feel you can maybe just take Imperial Judge instead. And lately, I feel like every deck wants to have punishments. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's a big difference of 5 Faeria and 3 Faeria, obviously, because you cannot top deck it from 0 Faeria or like play it from if you had no Faeria the previous turn.
But honestly speaking, if you're at zero Faeria, you're usually losing already because if you need top deckings and soon. He's really important against Rush. Plus, he can also gain you the Faeria back, and opponent needs to spend some Faeria resources. So yeah, he might be bad sometimes, but I feel like the pros outweigh the cons because punishment by itself, even though you want it usually in your decks, it's kind of, there are matchups where it's bad.
Right.
Imperial Judge is never bad.
And it yeah, because it clutters up your deck if you have like punishment. But for example, if you have an Imperial Judge, say it's in your starting hand and you don't have anything else, do you play it on turn 2 as a gatherer, or do you wanna save the gift as a surprise so the opponent cannot play around punishment?
I think I usually would want to play it as a gatherer, unless if I know what mode I want from him. Usually, the problem is you
Well, on
usually
turn 2
have
you
to.
almost never know though, right?
On turn two, you'd see two of his lands, but taking punishment is still a safe bet, and I tend to play him out early and do not save him for surprise. I'm not sure whether this is right or not, but I that's my stance on the matter.
My Twitch chat is starting to look like a Twitch chat. Just a bunch of spam. Uh, I saw
Yeah.
there were people writing earlier. We should maybe talk about that. Um, there might have been a misunderstanding. I noticed it also when I was talking to Inaru, Inari, that his sideboard was of 7. I mean, it was 7 cards, but he had like 7 different cards, but not the amount. Like it wasn't 7 cards in total. He had like 3 of this, 3 of that, 3 of that. So that might have been a misunderstanding. It might have been allowed. I'm not sure. I just know from Magic the Gathering, if you have a sideboard of 15 cards, it doesn't mean you can have 15 different cards. So I don't know what's gonna happen now.
Yeah, I do believe that. Well, I assume that since we have 30 card main deck, that we will be using the same format as Magic the Gathering. So if we 1/4 of the 30 cards is around seven, so that's why seven, exactly seven total cards. That's what I assumed,
Hmm.
and I think that's what they intended as well.
Alright, we'll see what's gonna happen about that. I hope he won't be disqualified or something like that. I don't think he did it intentionally. He
Yeah,
did.
that would be sad, and it's not like I would have won either way, since I, yeah,
Yeah, he didn't. He said it also. He never won a single game with his sideboard cards, so um, they didn't really give him any benefit there.
yeah,
But I think we should maybe not talk about that right now. That's
yeah.
up to
But
the admins to decide.
anyways, didn't admins check his deck list?
I have no idea. I wasn't here, but I guess they did. And then if they allowed it, it should be alright, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your insane Magic the Gathering history.
Well, it's not insane. I mean,
It's kind of insane.
well, I started Magic the Gathering in high school, played some tournaments. I did go to GPs, even got myself into a Pro Tour once. I think I think it was last year I got myself into a Pro Tour. Was a fun experience, but currently I'm getting bored of Magic. I mean, Faeria is much more fun. Mana screws in Magic the Gathering are such a pain to deal with,
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
but yeah.
So, all right. Um, I had some good thoughts, but I
Yep.
kind of forgot about them. There was something I wanted to talk to you about. Tell me something while I think about what it was.
I would love to if I knew it at least.
Do you have do you sometimes stream when you play?
I actually, when I have enough free time, I stream. So yeah, my channel is. I use my friend's channel, so we kind of use it separately. But it's Boat Brew. Currently he has not much time for streaming, so I'm doing that.
Can you link it to me so that I can post it in the chat?
Uh, yeah. Wait a minute. Um, oh, yeah, just computer is slightly slow. I'm not doing it that often, at least not currently. Just when I have time, probably once or twice a week, I try to do it, but
All right.
not with the schedule.
And everyone in the chat, if you haven't already, please follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want to be famous, and the only way to get famous is if you subscribe. I'm
Yes.
actually already following Boat Brew.
Ah, okay.
So here's Nightingale's where he streams. You should check that out and follow that as well.
Yep. So, any thoughts came back to you about what you wanted to ask or talk about? At least direction.
I don't think so, but let's talk about your deck again, because that's, I think, the most interesting thing about every tournament. Like, when you decided to make this deck, what were your thoughts? Like, what do you want to be strong against? What do you...
Well, it's not as much strong, but the thought process in making this deck was using the strongest creatures from the format. Currently, the broken things in Faeria, it's Azarai and Last Nightmare. They're definitely broken. Then, if you're playing yellow, you have to play Soul Drain. That's three cards. Plus, after I got to know how OP Kalim's follower is, that was kind of the necessary inclusion. So that's what I believe. Anybody wanting to win in Faeria should be playing those cards, at least those cards, because they are really strong. Like you can combat against them, but you gain so much advantage by playing them that there is no reason not to do it. Of course, like the Flyers synergy deck is really good, but even that deck, did he? How many Soul Drains does he play?
I can look that up quickly.
But I
But
think Azarai and I heard he only played two Last Nightmares, which was kind of salty for the last match. But anyways, I do think three is the correct number even in that deck.
he's playing
So
3 Soul Drains, by the way.
yeah, so Soul Drain, Last Nightmare, Azarai. Cards are so strong that you actually have to be playing with them right now. Then Kalim's follower because he is good harvester. And I dislike aggression because people tend to counter that. and mono green was pretty popular. So going aggressive route did not seem like a good idea. Uh, yeah.
But you say also that Last Nightmare and Soul Drains are so good that everyone should run them. Did you ever
Yeah.
think about making a deck that has no very few good targets for those spells? Because you can, I mean, playing a
Yeah.
Last Nightmare on a 4-cost minion that also doesn't feel too good.
Well, countering the meta is of course reasonable, and I actually mono blue tempo is probably what the deck name is. Some kind of tempo-ish deck with fairies or just mono blue is of course option. But my issue with those kind of decks is they're trying to counter the best things in Faeria right now. Not everybody is playing best things. So while not everybody is playing them, the ones who will prevail will be those that play them. If everybody plays them, then you should counter it. But right now, not everybody is playing them. Not everybody understood it yet.
Hmm.
That's my stance. It's like you should join the best deck while not everybody understands that it is the best deck. When everybody
Right.
understands that it is the best deck, then you should start countering that deck if you are actually able. And I'm not sure you're actually able to counter Azarai or Aurora Mythmaker for that matter either. I was kind of salty about that card this tournament. I mean, I believe it's not as broken as Azarai, but broken as well. I
I
mean, they
think
should.
Mythmaker is the best legendary. I mean,
Yeah,
Asarai is amazing, but I think Mythmaker even better. I
yeah,
like Mythmaker a lot.
I like him as well, but I do think they should nerf him slightly. I mean, there was a suggestion on my tweet chat, which I wholeheartedly really agree with. They should make Mythmaker into a 5-mana 1/1. Then you would actually feel good about copying it with Aurora's Dream, because I cannot bring myself to copy Aurora Creation. Sorry, with Aurora's Creation, I cannot bring myself to copy a 4 Faeria creature with Aurora's Creation right now. So if they nerf it into a 5-mana 1/1, it will still be really good, but you actually feel good about copying it with Aurora Creation.
That is true. I think it's still a good target for creation, even
Yeah,
though.
it is, but I feel so bad losing that 1 Faeria. But yeah, back onto the deck. So as I said, Azarai, Last Nightmare, and Kalim's followers were kind of the core I was building around with. Then after the Cubes, that was like what I wanted to play in the tournament. After yesterday, Cubes shared the deck. I thought that Kalim's follower plus Oakling is really OP. And the day before that, I was actually also contemplating on making some Oakling deck because the card is just such a high value creature.
It's
And
insanely good. I mean,
yeah,
as long as
and,
you have something in your hand that it can trigger on, it's really good.
and back on the topic, since Last Nightmare and Azarai are so good, Oakling becomes really nice because you never want to waste those on Oakling.
Yeah.
And you can actually buff him, which actually you have to buff him usually for him to be good, but that's not that big of a problem when you run three Tiki Caretakers, three Runin's commands, and Tetra.
Yeah, I mean, he can still gather until you get that buff on him that he can be valuable in combat.
Yeah, but Oakling is high value, and he's good since people are playing Last Nightmare and Azarai. It feels kind of stupid. Then another thing, going green because I actually thought that a lot of people would default to Yellow Rush because that's easiest deck, and I think it's one of the most efficient decks. And in unknown, like from Magic knowledge, in unknown format, Rush deck is always the best. So this format is unknown and well, kinda unknown, and that's why I was actually expecting some Rush, and neutral Rush was better. That's why Imperial Judge, Runin's Avenger, and Runin's Command. Though Runin's Command is always good, and Tiki Caretaker was kind of the last slot, along with the Tetra, which are the best green cards, I think.
So do you think the Runin's Avenger is the best card against Yellow Rush, basically? Like,
I
I mean, um, except from maybe the cards you already said, like these are the must-have cards. Then,
um,
because then you have to fill out the deck, and you just take 3 Avengers.
Well, I definitely if yellow. It depends on the build of Yellow Rush. If Yellow Rush runs Last Nightmare, then it might not be the best card. But if it does not run the Last Nightmare, then Yellow Rush is kind of screwed. I mean, I played quite a lot of Yellow Rush, and I had quite with a splash of neutral cards, and I have really hard time dealing with Runis Avenger unless I play Last Nightmares into the deck. Uh, I am kind of. I don't know whether he's best, but he's definitely one of the best cards. Uh,
It was so sad to see every time you dropped him, it just died immediately. That
yeah,
must have felt so bad.
actually, because of those flyers, I think this deck should be playing one more Choking Sand. I'm not sure what I want to cut, but one more Choking Sand is something I definitely want to be playing in this deck right now.
Hmm.
And also, Kalim Sky Prodigy. Initially, my initial impression of him was kind of meh, like not really that good. But as it turns out, those followers are really important. So suddenly his ability becomes important not only as an aggressive, plus charge 3 flying, really high mobility creature. It does not seem like much, and it might seem that it dies to choking sand early, but he is really useful creature if opponent has to answer to it, because if he doesn't, he gets out of hand. Culling gets out of hand really quickly.
Yeah, but his orb has to be exposed also if you're gonna make
And
use of
no,
the
I
ability.
I mean I don't mean that only through ability. Only the fact that he is 5 mana 3/6 charge flyer is
That's
really
already
good,
pretty good. Yeah,
because he can start double harvesting without going to the side. Like he can double harvest and go into any place of the board and be wherever he needs to be. Plus, with the buffs, the fact that he survives majority of combats is really good. Like he's must kill target, because if opponent does not have a way to kill it fast, he will kill him
yeah,
or provide advantage. And the fact that he is only 5 Faeria means that you're actually winning if he's doing Last Nightmare on it.
yeah. And if you collected at least one Faeria with a choking sand, it's like you're even.
Well, usually you play it in such a way that the turn after that you usually collect 2 Faeria from him,
Yeah,
because you usually try to do it that way.
but if
But
the opponent has the choke and he sees that you're gonna be able to double collect, he will most likely choke it.
yeah, that's what quite often happens. But choking sand, I mean, people aren't running that many of those because green is really popular right now,
Yeah.
and I don't think choking sand sees that much play.
No, I have talked to some players about it, and I mean, people don't play it anymore. People used to play it all the time because of the Grimguard when everyone was just rushing in the Yak Attack era. Then Grimguard was so efficient, so everyone was running choking sands. But now it seems like it has fallen off. That's something I really like about Faeria, is that the game shifts so quickly. The meta is different every time I get home from work. It's like, all right, now everyone is doing this all of a sudden. I can't keep
Well,
up.
on one hand it's good, on one hand it's sometimes slightly irritating, because you go to sleep with one meta and wake up with another one. I actually remember when, luckily now it's kind of getting slower, because there are less things to discover in the state as it is, so meta shifts slightly slower, but it still shifts quite a lot.
Yeah, and that's
Oh,
really refreshing. I now
uh,
I remember, by the way, what it was that I wanted to talk to
yep,
you about, and it has absolutely nothing to do with anything.
okay.
I mean, Faeria related.
Okay.
You mentioned you were competing in Magic, so now I need you to sign some cards and send them to me. I still miss the. I need the foil Jace. So if you could send that to me with your signature, I would appreciate it. All right, thanks. Let's move on.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Which foil Jace?
The one, the awesome one, the one that you mill your opponent with.
I don't. Ah!
I don't remember the names anymore. I haven't played Magic in a long time.
I don't think I have any of those. I have any. I have other some Jaces, but not the one that mills. Or
Uh,
you mean the new one which came this year,
no,
like last?
no, I think it's like a band card that like you like. I don't even remember. It was a stupid effect. You discard the entire opponent's hand and or whatever. I don't remember.
Yeah, well, they did make Jaces kind of like in new Jace every 2 years, something like that. The last one actually costs the one they printed last summer costs right now like 50 euros, normal one or something like that. It's ridiculous. The prices of the Magic cards are the reason why I want to play Faeria. Well,
Yeah.
at least one of the reasons. By the way, I'm also free to play player, at least currently.
All right. So you heard it, guys. Send him some money. No one sent any money to the
I'm
winner.
actually buying the full collection as soon as they implement the compensation for crafting. But yeah, at least I got to God rank with no with free to play. And the reason why I'm playing green yellow is because I opened Kalim from the boosters and the fairy and Breath of Life. I also opened from boosters, so that was the best deck I could build at the time.
All right.
Afterwards, I crafted them. By the way, a lot of people play Breath of Life. What's your stance on the card?
Breath of Life is, I think, amazing if you're playing mono green. If you're playing two colors or three colors, it's a bit tough to get out. I mean, two colors it's fine, especially if you play. I mean, I'm a big fan of Vine Wall. I run it in a lot of my decks. People think it's like maybe not so good. I love structures because I'm so sick of people moving away my taunt creatures or kill them with a spell and then just destroy me. So I like structures. So with the Vine Walls, I don't have so much problems getting the four forests out usually.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually still discovering how good some of the structures are. I'm not sure about that, so I really need to see how people play it a bit more because usually I dislike the structures because majority of their effects are kind of just worse than the creature, except for the red ones.
Yeah, I mean there is the benefit that they are harder to remove. But about Breath of Life, when you read the text, you think like this is I need to have this. This is too good.
Yeah.
But when you have it and you draw it and you can't play it, that's kind of annoying. What do you think about Breath of Life?
I actually, when I was ranking up in the ladder, I played like green yellow control with similar deck, but it did not have follower or Oakling or Imperial Judge, but it did have the green fairy and Breath of Life. I think Runin's Avenger wasn't upgraded at that point, but I played Breath of Life there. But the issue I have with it is the fact that against control decks and slower decks, you want your cards to do something. Breath of Life just cycles. It is not that good. I mean, it requires four forests, so while it seems really cool, the fact that you have to expend resources to play more forests instead of something else, like instead of drawing cards on crossing Faeria, I think takes it's a lot more important than people realize. I like as in mono green, as you said, it's really good. In two color deck, you really need to think hard because I usually avoid putting it, especially since Runin's command kinda does the same thing but better.
Yeah, Ronin's command is strictly better. But
You,
you say you need the card needs to have an impact, but I mean, since it's cycles and it's free, you just get
uh,
another card that can have impact, or?
So sorry, I did not mean that. I mean against control and some other decks, there is a high possibility of going into fatigue. I mean,
Right.
if opponent is removing everything you do, then there is a high chance you go to fatigue. And for those kinds of matchups, you want your deck to be as high on things you actually do. So things like Soul Pact and Breath of Life that are not actually threats or things they need to like removal or don't do anything but gain some life. Uh, those cards are kind of like bad in those matchups.
That is true. I don't know how much you have followed me when I'm streaming and stuff, but I've been working so hard making fatigue work. It started already in February before the game came into early access to make fatigue decks. I had so much fun. Everyone hated me, but it was so much fun. I like to play these annoying decks also in Magic the Gathering. I love discarding your opponent's hand. That's the best.
I saw some of your streams, but I don't remember if I saw how you played fatigue decks. I actually tried to make a fatigue deck once. It was playing. The idea was to play Aurora's creation on Azarai and just kill everything he does.
That's a good tactic. I like it.
Yeah, so basically the same chorus here, but instead of green, I play blue for Aurora's Creation, Ninja Toad, and the Aurora Mythmaker. That did not work out, at least not in the God rank. Just saying.
Yeah, I have only won one game, I think, in God rank with my mill deck, and I've played for hours with it. So
But
it's not very consistent.
basically, there is like a fatigue deck is just a total control deck. As long as you're actually able to remove everything he does, you play just those 3 mana tutus that draw each player card, and you just know that eventually he will run out of threats. And since he will likely draw more cards, then you will win because of that. That's the how I see fatigue deck in Faeria.
Yeah, I put up my fatigue deck now in the stream. You'll be able to see it in like a minute or so. I don't know how long the delay is. But basically, it was way stronger when I made it because everyone was running Village Elder because it had
Yeah,
the Death Rattle and the last word to draw 2 cards. So I mean, people drew a lot more cards back then, and
yeah.
I just killed everything. Never played anything. So much
Actually,
fun.
Meteor.
Yeah, the meteor I added when people were playing Colossi,
but
um, and, and that was like way later. I didn't have meteor in the beginning. I had 3 Firestorms, I think.
but Tiki Healer. Well, I kind of understand. But okay, yeah, yeah. You since you're not drawing cards and it's okay to play some of the more colors. Okay. By the way, there is interesting thing I noticed in Faeria. There is like a correspondence between Faeria spend like the Faeria cost of the deck and the deck style. How do I say it properly? I mean, people are right now looking at their decks and seeing, okay, so I'm kind of control. I have kind of high fire curve, so I'm kind of control-ish, and so on. But the interesting thing to note, a high fire curve means that your cards do a lot of things. So technically, if you're going to fatigue, the deck that wins will be the one who has higher fire average.
Most of the time, I think that's
Well,
correct. Yeah,
in theory, just in theory,
yeah.
to extrapolate on that, it means that you should plan this accordingly and see what cards do more. Like, for example, in your case, Blood Obelisk is kind of do nothing.
Well,
While
that
he
is
does.
not true because I don't have anywhere of getting Feria. What I usually do, I mean, I keep my obelisk on my hand
until
until
you have mass removal. Yeah, I understand. He's good against creature matchups, and like he's giving you the Faeria. He's good. What I mean by do nothing is the fact that uh, he gains you. Okay, he's good. He gains you Faeria, but as a game plan, when you go to fatigue, you have it is three less cards that actually deal with opposing cards.
that is true, but
That's my point
in
mainly.
yeah, in this situation though, I I just get overrun usually if I don't have the Faria. The
Yeah.
thing is, the best feeling is when the opponent starts playing like devouring plants. I'm like, I don't care. I'm never gonna attack you anyway. Uh, but what's important also is that sometimes I sit with 9 cards in my hand. What's really important for me is that when my opponent has 9 cards, I need to have 8 cards, so that I always get. He is forced to play a card, and I respond. He's forced to play a card, I respond. If I'm all of a sudden in the position that I need to play a card, and he has nothing on the board, it gets really awkward because I don't want to heal. Obviously, if I have too much health, I don't want
Sorry for disturbing. Why are you not playing storytellers?
to. Because I almost always have a full hand when I play this deck.
I mean, my reason for doing it could bring you closer to fatigue, opponent closer to fatigue. It would decrease the game time, and it also would increase your chances of actually winning the game. Because if I mean, if you go faster to fatigue, opponent will be more hard pressed to kill you. So you will it will be kind of advantageous to you. I honestly think that if you're going to fatigue, then storyteller is important. Plus, his life gain.
Yeah, I've been trying around with the storytellers as well. It's just um, these are 2 decks. The other one is more of like a laugh. Just play it for fun. Doesn't really work, but I've had pretty good success with the first deck I showed you, even though I don't run
Okay.
any
Well,
storytellers.
I do see the reason why it would have a good success because it basically kills everything opponent does, gains some fire area with while
Yeah,
doing so.
the
Um,
green. If I face a green deck, I struggle because I cannot kill them efficiently. I mean, what I with my flame bursts
yeah.
are also most of the time I use them as AOE for the 6 Faeria cost instead of just
Yeah.
3 damage to one target. I wrote a guide actually about like things you should think about when you play, especially a deck like this. It's on Reddit. But let me take a look. I've been being spammed here on Discord. Let me see if anyone has maybe some questions or something.
Okay. But yeah, fatigue is interesting, but I do not think Faeria is currently at the point where control deck, like total control deck, can win because metagame is just too random. At least right now.
Yeah, uh, but I think it's super. So how? By the way, you did you compete in the last tournament also?
No, I actually missed the deadline because I thought it was on Sunday. On Saturday, I was streaming, and after stream, I got to know that the tournament was today, not tomorrow. I intended to play on Saturday, but just it was kind of stupid mistake.
All right. Well, so the reason I asked you is because I wanted to ask you what do you think about this way of doing it that you can sideboard, you have 7 card sideboard, instead of, for example, being able to trade as much as you want, or do you like it when there's no sideboard, or what do you think?
I actually, well, Atmas asked me in Discord same question, and I actually like this format a lot more than any other one. And despite my sideboard being abysmal, I really do believe that this kind of thing should be how Fire tournaments are done. I mean, Magic had sideboards and they are working pretty well, like for many years probably some, even if Magic does have mana scry, I think sideboarding is one of the things they did right. The things I would change, maybe, well, currently there are too many decks to play against. So, yes, okay, there are too many different Azerite decks to play around. But I would add one more sideboard slot probably, but that's probably wishful thinking. And I would really love to see sideboarding in like in-game mechanic.
Yeah,
Uh,
they were talking about that on Discord earlier.
yeah, I was the one who was talking about it
All right.
on the Discord, so I'm just repeating what I said there.
Yeah, I think that would be a great thing for the future, and I'm sure that developers are listening to all our feedback. Obviously, they have things that are more
Yeah,
um,
I'm
like higher
perfectly fine.
priorities and stuff.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine if it's like just this for the tournaments. It's just that I would like it if it was there, but no big deal if it isn't.
Yeah,
I mean, we can always keep tournaments like this where we can just side out decks. It would be just easier if it was supported in game.
yeah,
Oh yeah, sorry. One thing about sideboards. There, another reason why I would want to see them in as an in-game mechanics because, like, was not able to test my sideboard properly. So it's as long as it's not an in-game mechanic, your only choice at testing the sideboard is playing against other people,
mm,
like asking your friend to help you. While you would more want to play against other similar opponents, like in the God League, you would want to test sideboards against God ranked players. That would be what you and randomly that would be better option. But if it's not an in game, you cannot test your sideboard, and hence you get useless sideboards like mine.
yeah. Yeah, it's important to play against the same opponent so you know how to sideboard.
Yeah.
Alright, it's getting kind of late. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Otherwise, I think it's maybe time to say goodnight.
Uh, I'm actually. I think it's a bit late for me as well. I have work tomorrow as well, so and it's nearly 2 p.m. 2 in the morning for me. So I I will be glad to join you anytime you want, but not today.
Yeah, tonight it's too late anyway, and
Yeah.
I would love to have you. It was a lot of fun talking to you, and
Yeah.
congratulations again to the second
Same here.
place.
Thank you.
And wait a second, here we got someone saying maybe it's time to start forming teams. Yeah.
Well, we have one big team. It's called Discord chat group. So technically, it's not like how do I say it? Finding an opponent for testing is not such a hard thing to do for Faeria. It's just that doing the you would usually prefer to do it like a bigger sample size from the tournaments. But yeah, asking in Discord for some opponents to play your decks is always a good option, and that's what I believe.
Yeah, everyone in the Discord are so friendly and helpful, and I think we have a really nice atmosphere going on. And everyone who doesn't know what it is, you should join us on Discord. If you go to I can show you actually. Here, if you click on the friends list, you can click here to join our Discord channel. Or if you don't have the game yet, you can go to the Reddit, the subreddit, and there's also a link to join the Discord channel. And there we're talking all the time, all day long, having a
Yeah.
blast.
Also, so it's well, it's kind of a promotion, but it kind of isn't. Just want to say that I did write a small article on the land placement, which did link it in your article to
Yeah, it's a
that,
great
and
article. We talked about
I
that also when when the finals were about to start. People asked me who I'm rooting for. I said Nightingale, of course, because he wrote this awesome article. Everyone should
Thank you
check it
very
out.
much. And the way I'm mentioning it is, I did get my some other things in order since I didn't have that much spare time. So I probably will write another one or two articles in upcoming week or two. One is about the second turn, which people who read that one were expecting, and the second one, which I believe is a really interesting topic, is like Faeria versus card draw, because I believe many people in this game are confused about card draw because many come from Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone, and card draw is really important. Suddenly in Faeria, card draw is not that important. Like quite often, I'm left in my games under 5 cards or go to 0 even. So usually you get enough cards and you cycle through all of your deck. So it's important to evaluate how much a card and Faeria is worth. And I'm not sure how fast I can write it because it's slightly complicated, at least currently for me. But I do believe it's a topic that's quite an important for Faeria theory crafting.
Yeah, the thing is why it's so important to draw cards in Magic and Hearthstone. One of the important reasons, at least I think, is because you have a set amount of mana every turn, and you want to be as efficient as possible using that mana. But since in Faeria it stacks up over time, it's not as important to play like uh, spend your mana perfectly every turn, because you can save it up for the following turn.
One thing to add to that is that like my current logical conclusions from the things I thought about that is the card draw is like you want more fire there. You choose card draw or Faeria depending on how high your mana average Faeria average is, because the higher your Faeria average, it means the higher power level of your cards is, means the more more cards in your, you can play less cards usually, and you would want more Faeria. On the other hand, if your Faeria average is less, you would normally want more cards in your hand, and less often you would want to use +1 Faeria option.
Exactly, because also if you have a bunch of big expensive cards in your deck and you have no Faeria, it makes no sense in drawing more cards. So you have like a lot of cards you can't play. It's more important, maybe not all the time, but oftentimes it's important to just be able to play something. So you
Uh,
need to get the Faeria.
Actually, I saw some streamers on lower ranks. They had like full hand of creatures, not much Faeria, and there were like 3 Verduran forces. It's kind of hard to cast them if you do not have Faeria.
Yeah, that it is.
So usually you know that you are doing something wrong and you should be doing something differently when you have multiple high costed cards in your hand when the game ends.
Yeah,
Actually, one of the things I would love to have from developers is game statistics. It was talked about briefly in Discord, and I haven't heard it since. But having a statistics of how many cards you played, how many cards you've drawn, and what power wheel options you have used would be really improve the deck building, or at least some kind of, we need something of a similar caliber, some kind of patch or like a script program which does it from screenshot. But I do believe we need something like that for brewing.
yeah, that could very much be useful. All right, so I think now it's time to say goodnight. Thank
Yeah.
you, Nightingale, for taking this time. And I know you've been playing for a long time. It's late and you're tired, and I really appreciate you taking this time.
Yep. Thank you for inviting me. I really enjoyed this stream as well. It was really fun. And yeah, good night, and maybe we'll see you later. Not
We
today,
will.
but
We'll
yeah.
definitely talk more.
Yeah.
All right. Good night.
Yeah. Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye.